Even in our marriage, a marriage is a compounding effect. You see a great marriage, it didn't happen overnight. It's just these little things that just start compounding over time. And you're like, wow, they have a great marriage. It's like, yeah, but it took a lot of time and a lot of discipline, just like everything in life.
I would say at the end of the day with most of these things, a phrase that I use all the time is to just approach your spouse with curiosity. And I think that could solve a lot of these things. Approach with curiosity instead of judgment. Approach with curiosity instead of trying to prove that your way is the right way. I think that can go a really long way. Welcome back to another episode of the Married with the Mujikas podcast. We are so excited that you're here. We are Richard and Haley Mujika. Babe, go ahead and give them some fun facts about us because I always have the same couple.
Fun facts. Okay. Well, we've been married for 12 years. We have 4 kids. A cool little fact is that our 2 boys were born first, Riker and Armor, and then our 2 girls were born. So that's a cool dynamic that we got to see because they like, that's just, it's a perfect dynamic. And we never thought we'd be doing a podcast, and we never thought we'd be here in life, which I think is pretty interesting.
Life's a journey.
Life's a journey. And the motto and the reason why we do this podcast is to love a home. Or to what's the motto? What's the motto?
Building a marriage.
Build a marriage you love coming home to. Yes, I got to ingrain that in my. I do know this. But those are some fun facts.
Very good.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. Anything fun going on
in my world?
In your world at the
we're trying to work on some business deals, which is it's pretty exciting, but you never know. And besides that, we, football, I'm coaching the football. That's been fun. Watching the boys hit and nothing too crazy. We just had your birthday. We just talked about that. That was a lot of fun. And then we might be celebrating with my family tomorrow, which I haven't even told you.
Okay, cool. One interesting. So we live in Southern California.
Yeah.
And it's like end of August right now. And it is so ridiculously hot. I've seen like other people on Instagram like, oh, it's starting to feel like fall, and they're talking about their fall wardrobe, and I'm like, girlfriend, it is 108 here. Like it is so hot.
Yes.
So hot. So
and it feels like it's a little bit more humid, like a little bit more muggy.
Which we live in like
not humid. Yeah, dry desert. It's just more like, because I'm going outside and I'm starting to sweat now. I get it. People are in Florida or whatever. It gets really humid. I mean, it's nothing, but for us, we're pansies about it. So
yeah, it's been very, very hot.
It has.
So not even close to feeling like fall for us yet.
No, and it never feels like fall.
It does.
Kind of like some days do. Yeah, winter never feels like winter.
Feel like 108. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So last time on the podcast, we talked about personal growth and why everyone has a personal responsibility to continue to grow for the sake of their
really love that episode.
For the sake of their children, their family, their society, culture as a whole. So that was a really good one. That was a fun one.
That was great.
And today we're going to be going over the top 10 things that couples fight about.
Yes.
And what's really funny is going through this list. So we went on ChatGPT and asked, what are the top things? We have episodes about almost every single one of these things, which is really cool.
I know we do. That's a good point.
So we'll kind of reference some of those things, and we're just going to kind of give some of our thoughts, maybe if we have any
our reactions,
if we have any
feedback.
We're going to go through that. But yeah, so we're just going to go through that list.
Yes.
And so at first we were just going to do the top 5, and then thought, okay, let's expand it a little bit to the top 10. But when we were going to do just the top 5, I will say I was able to guess the top 5 like right away with 100% accuracy.
It was actually amazing because she's like, I know the top 5. She lists them out, and then I go on ChatGPT, and I was like, was it listening to my wife? Because it was identical to what she said.
So these are very, very common, very predictable, and I think people find it helpful.
Oh yeah.
So do you remember what the very first one was, babe?
Yeah, it was money.
Money.
Yes, money.
The number one. The number one
issue.
Couples.
Yes.
And that's really interesting.
It is interesting, but I completely and 100% get it.
Well, okay. Why do you get it? What do you mean by that?
Well, I think I've talked about this before. But the reality is we live in a society that you just need money, dude. Like you need money and everything's more expensive. Everybody knows that. Inflation is way up. The cost of homes is up, but wages have stayed relatively steady. Like wages are kind of up, but home prices and stuff you buy is way up. So it's like there's no comparison there. So and then if you look back, ancestral history, like we used to live in a world where it's like money didn't really matter. All you'd get up, you'd find your food, you'd bring it back to the tribe, you'd do the thing. Like so, but nowadays it's like, dude, you need money.
Well, and you've looked at these stats before, but even like within like the 60s, 70s, the ratio between income and house expense was nowhere near what it is now.
Yes.
And so it's like such an exorbitant stretch between the two.
And the American dream of, just going to college and then coming out of college and getting a good job and then getting a home and then letting your home kind of appreciate in value and then have that kind of be your wealth builder. That model, in my opinion, is just dying. Right. And nowadays with the rise of the internet, there's so many ways to make money and get creative in making money. I think it's easier than ever to make money, but it's also hard because there's so many options and people just, it's like you get analysis paralysis, right? And there's so many distractions. You have social media. You can look on your phone all day. You have Netflix. You have all these dopamine hits that we can just get into, or we can, create wealth. So,
yeah. Well, I also think one of the things is like some people are more malleable than others, but for the people that are very like rigid, it's really hard for them to move outside that box. And that box that we were always taught was, like you said, you go to college, you get a good job, you buy a home, your home is your retirement. And like you said, that's not really the reality anymore, but there's so many people that are still like trying to make that work, where it's instead of being a little bit more malleable and working with what the world is now.
Yeah.
So like you have to be able to.
Well, perfect example is the average tenure at a job, like in our parents' generation, was 20 to 40 years at the same job. If you look at it right now, I don't know the specific stat, but it's 1 to 2 years.
Yeah.
So people are moving jobs, they're moving to better opportunities, they're building online businesses, multiple streams of income, just because of the times we're in. And it's just like, it's just a different era. And so, but what I can say is in our family, right? So how we've we've obviously done pretty well financially, but there's a lot of people that do well and you can still outspend your income.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And you can still fight about money, and your wife or your husband could be overspending, even if you're making a great income. So that just because you're making more money does not get you away from this money principle.
Well, okay, so that's what I was going to ask you. Like, do you think most of that argument is the stress of not having enough money, or not agreeing on how to spend the money, or not respecting each other enough to?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think the crux of that argument is?
This is my personal opinion. I think the crux of it is, yes, I think income is a part of it for sure. But I think the biggest part of it is our consumer mentality. I think consumerism is literally eating people alive.
Yes.
And I see it because I'm in the online world. What do you do when you get on Instagram? What's the first 5 things you see as you're scrolling? You see an ad about, oh, you should get this because this is the newest craze. Oh, your kids need this. Oh my gosh, your husband would really love this. Oh my gosh, Amazon, like, let me get this for my kitchen. And so all of a sudden you have a society of just pure consumerism. And all they're doing all day long is just consuming, buying. I need this. Then they see the Joneses. Oh my gosh, they just got this upgraded kitchen cabinet thing. They just got this. And now you're competing. And now like all of a sudden you go from this, you're a consumer instead of a creator. And as soon as you can just make that transition in life and said, wait a minute, no. Let me just put consumerism aside because that's a dead end road. That will lead you broke, miserable, and unhappy. Creator is what you want to become. You want to be the person putting out the ads, putting out the content, making the cool stuff like this podcast, right? Then have people consume that, right? It's a different mentality, but I think it's eating most marriages alive, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think you're probably right. Okay, so what do you think the number 2 is? So number 1 was money. What's number 2?
Number 2 is sex.
Yes.
Yes, sex.
Yes, sex and intimacy.
Yeah.
So that would be like frequency and how often they are having it. That would be, maybe a mismatched desire there. What do you think the crux of that one is?
Well, unless you are hormonally deficient, right? Unless you have literally a substance issue in the body where your estrogen or your testosterone are off, which is very, very possible. But if that's not the case, then in my opinion, it's more of a symptom and not the cause. Like, meaning the only reason why you wouldn't be having intimacy and sex in your marriage the way that you want to be is because there's other problems that are going on that are not bringing you guys together in that way.
Okay, but say you have two people where, let's just do this for generality's sake, where the husband wants it a lot more than the wife does. And so the wife is like, hey, dude, once, twice a week, and I am happy with that. She's good.
Yeah.
And he's like, not. Like, how do you, because you're saying the only reason that you won't be having sex in a way that's fulfilling to both people is if there's either a hormonal issue or if other things are wrong. But what if the wife's like, no, I'm fine, and the husband's not?
Yeah, but like, this is my point. I mean, look, this is just my opinion. I could be wrong, and you might have a different opinion. My opinion is this. If you are sexually attracted to your spouse, and your spouse is treating you the way that you want to be treated, and you're feeling loved the way that you want to feel loved, your natural inclination is to want to have sex. And so if you're not wanting to have sex with your husband, I think one of those things is off. Maybe you're not physically attracted to your husband because he's super overweight and out of shape. Maybe he's not taking care of his responsibilities as a man. He's not bringing home money, and he's not getting out there and getting after it and supporting you and protecting you and all that. Maybe he's not just emotionally available for you. Maybe he's just not talking to you, spending time with you, telling you that you're awesome and you're great and I appreciate you. So like, if those things are in line, then I truly believe this, that if those things are taken care of, the natural human response is let's have sex and physical intimacy. Mm-hmm. That's my opinion. Do you have a different opinion?
No, I don't have a different opinion. The only thing I'll say is that a lot of women, I think, especially women, can have more of a responsive desire where they don't initially think like, I want to do this. But then as soon as it starts, then they're like, okay, I'm into this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, maybe you just have to start. Like, maybe selfishness could also be the problem. Like, if you're feeling like, if I'm not in the mood and I don't want to do it, then we're not going to do it. It's like, but sometimes you can do things for your spouse, and then you'll get into it as things progress.
Yeah.
So I think selfishness might be a big part of the issue.
It could be. Yeah.
It's probably a big part of the issue with most of these things, to be honest.
Yeah, it definitely could be. I mean, we've read posts where you follow this lady on social media where, I mean, the way they grew up in their household is sex was bad and it was personified in a negative way. So like, they literally don't have sex. Like, a year will go by and they don't have any sex. And we're hearing these stories over and over and over. And I'm like, wait a minute. How does that work?
Makes no sense.
So I think some of it can be programming as a child, what you've been taught about sex, your background, or, if you had any traumatic experiences around that area. Obviously, these things come into play. But I think if two people are healthy, like emotionally and everything, then I think that is the natural inclination.
Yeah, I would agree.
And hormonally. I mean, you should get checked. Like, if you're not having sex, I would start there. Mm-hmm. Check your hormones because they could be off.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, number 3 is chores and responsibilities. So this is actually our second podcast we ever recorded was this topic.
Roles and responsibility. And that was one of our highest rated, I think, podcasts.
Yeah,
it
still is.
Podcast.
And so to me, the easiest way to solve this problem, and this is what works for us, is through traditional gender roles. Or I'll say not even necessarily traditional, although that's what works for us, but defined roles. Instead of like, are you going to wash the dishes? Oh, I have to. Like, just know who washes the dishes and let that be their thing, Yeah.
And
I think that would solve a lot of problems. Instead of this like 50-50 split that a lot of couples try to do, which like sounds great, but then you just end up keeping score all the time, and that's not healthy for a relationship. Like, just have your roles, do what you do, rely on your spouse to do what they do, and then stop thinking about it so much. Like, you don't have to resent every chore you do. You can just do it and let it just be that.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's a simple solution. Having defined roles.
It really is a simple solution.
Yeah.
It's not like, it really is that simple.
Yeah.
So if you go back to the roles and responsibilities episode, like I said, it was episode 2. If this is something you struggle with, I cannot encourage you
Yeah.
to go listen to that one because I think that one will be really helpful.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. And look, and if you're like, some people might be hearing this and get like anxiety thinking about it, because the reason why I think they have anxiety is because now they have to have the conversation and they're maybe not sure how to approach the conversation. And so I think, but you might be just overthinking it because it's actually a very, very simple conversation. And it's like, whether it's at night, whenever you just have undivided attention with your spouse, it's just like, hey, honey, do you mind if I just bring up something that I think would just help us have clarity around household responsibilities? And so we're just on the same page and we know what to expect from each other, And then from there, it's like you just open it up as a dialogue. And it's just like, hey, what are your thoughts? Like, what roles and responsibilities, like, do you think we should kind of like look at? And who do you think is best for what role and responsibility?
Yeah.
And
we've talked about it before. There's a card deck called Fair Play that you can buy on Amazon that literally like has all the household chores on this deck of cards. And you can just sit there and divide up the cards in between his pile and your pile. And it's a really non-threatening, easy, kind of fun, like game-like way to do it that maybe takes some of that intimidation factor away.
Yeah.
But help you figure that out.
Yeah. And I think the benefit of just doing the traditional way is you don't really even have to talk about it.
It's just
because it's like,
it's clear.
It's clear. It's like the man does this, the woman does that, and it's traditional. So it's like very easy. Now, if you're not going to do it that way, obviously I think the conversations and the roles and it's just maybe more conversations that you're going to have
and
to
so
figure
the
it
way
out.
that looks for us is like pretty much if it's within the walls of our home, it falls on me. If it's outside the home or has to do with a car or has to do with money, it falls on Rich.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we define it. And then you can always ask for help, right? Like just this morning, we've got football practice night, so I was making dinner to go in the crock pot this morning before we came here, and I was busy. So I just turned to her, hey, can you get the coffee pot ready for the morning? You have no problem like jumping in and helping when I need help. But like, I know that I can't just expect you to do that. That falls under my job. So I have to ask you for help if I'm busy or whatever,
Yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah. Okay. So the next one is parenting styles.
Ooh.
Now that can be
ding, 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 ding.
because our children are so like, we have such like a soft spot and a tenderness for our children. When we have somebody, especially the other parent, that wants to do things differently, that we can get really defensive really quick there. So I think that's a really important one. And
what are you thinking?
I was gonna say,
just say it. Don't hold back.
So obviously, our position is if you're married to somebody, that's that, right? Like there's no option.
No turning back.
But that's why I would really encourage those of you who are maybe dating or engaged, like really, really, really think seriously about this kind of thing before you jump into marriage. Because once you're married, that is your child's other parent. There's no like.
Yeah, you can't undo that one.
You can't undo that.
Yeah.
But you have to make sure you're making a really good decision there.
Yes.
But what if you're already married? The ship is sailed there.
Yeah.
But one of I think the greatest gifts that you've ever given me as a spouse, as a partner.
This is a big statement.
And I will stand by it. Is that you are very, very good about trusting my instincts as a mother. Like you don't, like when I wanted to have a home birth, it was like, you were totally on board with that. I was like, okay, if that's what you want to do, we're gonna do that. When I want to homeschool our kids, you're like, okay, if that's what you want to do, we're gonna do that. Like you trust my instincts as a mom, which helps me to trust them even more.
Yeah.
And I've known other couples where the wife is like, oh, I really want to have a home birth. And the husband's like, oh, I'm not comfortable with it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And I trust your instincts 100%, but I also do like to have an open mind as well.
Yeah, you're very open-minded.
I'm open to different perspectives. Mm-hmm. And so, but your word holds tons of weight too. Mm-hmm. If somebody else is coming to me with a different perspective and I don't respect them or trust them, I'm not going to hold their word to like, oh yeah, that's a good idea, So I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah.
I really respect and value what you're saying. And then I'm also open-minded at the same time.
Yeah. So I think that alone could eliminate a lot of these like parenting style debates is I think knowing whose like chief responsibility this arena is. And I don't mean parenting in general. I mean this specific thing. So like if it was, somebody showed the kids porn on their phone, that's going to kind of fall to Rich to navigate that. So I'm going to look to him and be like, hey, how should we handle this? And I'm going to follow your lead on that. But then if it's like, hey, the kids aren't doing their chores, that's going to kind of fall to me. So you kind of have to know, like, okay, which parent is going to specialize in this area. And then you have to be willing to respect and follow their intuition when it comes to that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I think that can go a really long way.
Yeah. Well, and here's a framework that maybe will help people. If you're ever going to make a decision that is not irreversible, I would definitely think on that. So, for example, homeschool, right? The way I always think about it is, look, we can course correct.
Yeah.
Look, if we start homeschool, we don't like it, we just don't do it. And we go to the traditional way. But it wasn't a decision that if we do it, it's not irreversible. It's a reversible decision.
Right.
So I'm much more open-minded with those decisions. Now, if it's going to be irreversible, it's like, dude, we can't undo this once we say yes. Then I will take my time on that decision. I'm not going to just be like, oh yeah, let's just try it. Well, no, there is no just trying it. This is like a permanent decision. So I'd be very careful with those types. But if you can undo it, then I wouldn't. It's like, dude, you can just course correct and do the other decision.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a framework that I like.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one, the last one, rounding out the top 5. What do you think the 5th one is?
Oh.
So we had money, sex, chores, parenting styles.
Communication.
No. It's on the list, but it's not number 5. Number 5 is in-laws and extended family.
Oh, yeah. We did one on this too. That's right. Yeah.
And I think I would have to guess that a lot of those things either come from score keeping. Hey, we saw your family last week. We have to see my family this week. And that can kind of put a lot of pressure.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Or it's, why do you have to tell your mom everything? Why is your mom always in our business? Why does your mom get an opinion on this? I would assume those are probably the 2 main things, main arguments when it comes to in-laws.
Yes.
So for the first, I would just say, stop keeping score and let each family be what they are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like my family doesn't get together as often as your family does.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't. And so if I was this constant, like, okay, but we've seen your family 3 times, it's like, no, it's just his family's getting together again and your family hasn't got together yet. Like,
yes.
It's just, leave that alone. That's a worthless cause.
Yes.
Now the other one where it's, hey, why does your mom know everything? Why does your mom have an opinion on everything? I don't even think that's an in-law issue. I think that's a spouse issue.
Yes.
And that might just be that maybe the wife over confides in the mom and is breaking the confidence of her husband, and that's not right.
Yes.
Or it could be that the husband needs to man up and tell his mom, hey, mom, this is me and my wife's decision, and we'll let you know what we're doing.
Yes.
But really, that's an issue with your spouse, not your in-law.
Yes. Yeah, I was going to add that I think a lot of times in-law disturbances falls on the man because in the Bible it says once you get married, you cleave to one another and you leave your family to start a new family. And now this new family becomes your number one priority. But if the man does not take that
really seriously, and the woman feels like now she needs to defend her position with the mother-in-law, and now there's this battle of, it's going to be a battle now. Like she's going to be more on edge, have more arguments with you because she's trying to make sure that you are on board, that this is the number one. She's trying to assert her place. Yes.
And I think that's kind of what you were saying too.
Absolutely.
And if you find yourself in that position, that's a rock and a hard place. Like you don't want to be there because it doesn't work. So it's like and so I'm just speaking to the men that if you find that your wife is maybe whatever, quote unquote, naggy about in-laws or not wanting you to see your mom or whatever it might be, maybe you need to just take a step back and say, maybe I haven't put my wife in the position to have her be comfortable with it because I haven't showed her that she is the number one.
And not just shown her, but also maybe shown your mom.
And shown her mom. Yes. Shown. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's true. But we've also seen women that maybe have a hard time leaving their parents. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm married and I'm going to go live with my husband, but I need to live within 5 miles of my mom.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's like, it's great to be close to your mom. It's great to love your mom. But I think your husband needs to know that, hey, I follow you.
Yes.
I go where you go.
Yeah.
I think your husband needs to know that.
I think it's very important. Now, I will say, I don't think husbands are as outspoken about this. Like, I don't think they're going to do it the way a woman would, where they're going to be more mad about it and hold these grudges. Now, they might just be like, oh, I wish, my wife would do X.
It's going to
but it definitely could. It's just going to look a lot different.
Yeah, that's probably true.
You know?
Yeah. But then as a wife, I would also say one of the best gifts you can give your husband is the gift of loving his mom and not putting him in that position. So I think the husband has to do a good job of like making sure his wife knows that she's the number one priority in order for this to work. But if your husband has done that, one of the best gifts you can give him is to love his mom and to welcome her and to love her and to, like, because it is his mom. And your husband wouldn't be who he is without his mom. And so I think there's a balance there.
And I mean, there's something to be said that it could be also that if the woman wants to stay close to her parents, maybe there's just a lack of security in there.
Yeah.
It could be.
I mean, I would bet that probably
at some degree.
Yes.
Yes.
I think maybe entirely.
Yeah. So it still falls on the man, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it.
No, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I do think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next is communication. So that you thought that was number 5. It's number 6. Communication and conflict style.
Communication and conflict style. Yes. Well, yeah, I mean, all of life is communication. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know how to communicate, you're going to have a long life. Yeah. And I've seen it firsthand, whether it be in other relationships, parent relationships. So, well, this is what I'll say is that you and I have similar thoughts around communication styles. I think we communicate relatively on par with each other. We've never had like one just flies off the handle and the other one's more, or like one super passive aggressive and the other one's more, what is it? It's like we're very similar in that regard. So I think that's helped us navigate a lot of our conversations. But I'll tell you what, we just have rules, right? I mean, the rules are we just don't freaking get crazy with each other. Like we don't let things escalate to a point where anybody gets out of control or there's things said that we regret, or it's just like a rule. It's like we don't do that, right?
Yeah. So our episode that we did about this is called Fighting Fair.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, it really comes down to respect. Like, do you respect your spouse? They might have a different opinion, but you can still respect them. That you can still approach them with curiosity and trying to decode how they got to where they got instead of just trying to force your idea on something.
Yes.
That's 2 different goals.
Yes. I heard a great point one time. And basically what it said is that if you dig deep enough, you understand the reasons for everybody's thoughts. Like you understand the reasons for everybody's actions. Mm-hmm. And so in a conversation, whether it be your spouse or whatever, if you're arguing, there is no point to the conversation. Like there's no winner in that scenario. Mm-hmm. So when you realize there's no winner in an argument ever, and never leads to a good outcome, you start realizing that the best thing that you can do is just sit there and to understand where the other person's coming from. Mm-hmm. Because if you understand enough, you're going to understand why they're saying what they're saying. Mm-hmm. It makes sense at some point.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I had a relationship in my life from the time I was a little girl where this person in particular was just very argumentative, but to the point that like the argument was not going to stop until I just conceded and admitted they were right.
Yeah.
Like they were not going to stop talking at me, and there was no talking to me. It was talking at me.
Yes.
And eventually I just came to a place of like, it didn't change my mind at all, but I would just say, okay, fine, you're right. Just to make it stop.
Just to make it stop.
And I would just really encourage you not to take on that style with your spouse, because then you're just eliminating communication. You're eliminating respect.
Exactly.
But you're not changing anyone's mind.
That's right.
And you're going to build up a lot of resentment.
Yes. Yeah.
So like you can agree to disagree on things. You don't have to sit here and just talk until you're on the same page about everything. It's like what's something that we've talked about that we're on different pages about? Okay, I know one.
Yeah.
So we're not going to get super into this topic, but there's the debate in the church between free will and predestination.
That's a good one. Yeah.
And so that's one that we don't always agree and see eye to eye on. That you kind of get a little bit heated sometimes when we talk about it.
Yes. It's so silly.
But we always leave this argument or this conversation not on the same page.
We're not on the same page, yeah.
We're never on the same page.
I think we're saying the same thing, though. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, it's kind of a dumb. I mean, it's a dumb little thing that we get into, but it is something that we disagree on.
But it's something that we disagree on. But
yeah,
and like the point is that we leave the conversation still not agreeing.
Yeah,
the conversation can still be over.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. In fact, I'll tell you what. I've had a lot of these conversations where I disagree, and the guys in the next room, my nephew. Yeah, I mean, great, smart dude, greatest kid ever. Like the guy that you would want to know. But yeah, I mean, he's a young man. Now, he has some ideas and opinions that I just don't really agree with, but I love hearing why he thinks.
Interesting thing,
because it's very profound. He's got a great reason for it, and I can see why it makes sense. But I just don't agree. But we never like argue or anything. It's just like, dude, I want to hear you. I'll share mine.
Been people though that do argue.
Oh yeah, there has.
It's ugly.
Yes, yeah. But you know, we have a lot of fascinating conversations with that guy.
Okay, next is quality time and priorities.
Quality time and priorities. Yes.
We did an episode on.
Did we really?
On priorities. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did. Keep the main thing the main thing.
The main
That's
thing.
right.
I forgot what it was called. That was it.
That's right. Okay, what are your thoughts? Well, I'll start with this.
Okay.
Priorities. A lot of people, I think, have a notion that priorities are the things that you do, where I think really the definition of priorities are the things that you choose not to do. Because after you've eliminated everything you choose not to do, what are you left with? The few things that you are going to do. And those few things are, quote unquote, your priorities. So I think one of the best things you can do in life as a married couple is to sit down and not talk about the things that you're going to do, is talk about the things that you're not going to pay attention to. Because by the law of just taking away, you're only left with what's important. And I think that's a very interesting idea.
That is an interesting way to look at it. I would think almost the opposite. Like, you know, we've told our kids before, like, you need to pre-plan what you're going to do in certain situations. So if somebody shows you something on their phone that's inappropriate, you need to know what your plan is going to be before that ever happens, so that you know what to do when it happens. Because relying on yourself to make a good decision in the
That's
moment.
a great point. Yeah, that's a great point.
So I think you have to sit down and discuss what are our priorities as a family. Like, where is our list of priorities? So then when you're faced with the decision, you can look back to that list and be like, okay, football's number 5 on the list, but
goes back to a value.
You know, it goes back to your values, and then you can use that list to make the decision instead of having to rely on yourself to make a good decision in the moment.
Yeah, which is then you're using emotions, and emotions will start clouding your judgment.
Yeah.
A life compass.
Yeah, so that would be my suggestion. It's just like, know before you're ever faced with anything what the list of priorities is, so you can reference that when making a decision.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about how practically this would play out in a marriage. So what was the category is priorities and what?
Quality time.
And quality time. Yeah.
Okay, so a good way that like quality time plays out for us. We have date night on Monday, and nothing touches date night.
Except football practice.
Except football practice for a month. But even then,
yeah,
it wasn't just that date night didn't happen. It was like, okay, we figured out
we had to move it.
That.
You had to reschedule. That's right.
For a very brief agreed upon amount of time.
Yep.
But the rest of the year, we know that nothing's getting scheduled on date night.
Yeah. Now, there was a time where we prioritized the kids over date night because we had small children and we couldn't do it. So it was like that was the priority, not the date night.
Right. Because I was exclusively breastfeeding.
Yeah.
The health of our children obviously came first. And so it was like, we can't make our kids starve for hours. So
yeah, that's right.
Got to be here.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's a good example of how we've managed that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this is another area where I think it just goes back to communication.
Yes.
You got to talk about it. You got to find obviously your family values. What do you guys truly value? And then off those values, you have your priorities. Yep. And to your point, you already pre-decided. You pre-decided.
Exactly.
Decision comes up. It's like, nope, didn't have to make the decision. It was already made.
Yep, exactly.
I think that's a great point.
Yeah. Okay, next is trust, jealousy, and boundaries. We have an episode about this as well.
Oh, we do have one. That's a good point.
And so the main point in that episode was that boundaries really provide a lot of freedom. They're not a prison in your marriage. They actually provide a lot of freedom because there's so much freedom in a marriage that is loving and peaceful.
Yes.
That's worth pretty much any price you got to pay. But I think boundaries are extremely important.
Yes. And I will say this, the old saying, it takes a lifetime to build trust. It takes a couple minutes to lose trust. And if you're married, don't lose trust.
Yeah.
Because now the boundaries start eroding. It's just so hard. Your life is your reputation, and if you just, it's just so hard to come back after you mess it up. Now you can, it's like if you've already ruined it, and look, there's always a healing period, and you can bring it back. But if you haven't done it yet, think twice before you lose that trust.
Yes, and that can be in the worst way, like having an affair, but it can also be in really little ways, like maybe over divulging to your mom something that your husband told you in confidence, or telling your friends something, or making fun of your wife to people behind her back. Like those are little things that can tear away your spouse's trust in you.
Oh yeah, of course.
But then the one thing I'll say about having an affair is like, people always think like, oh, only bad people do that. And I'm not a bad person, so I'm not even liable for that,
Yeah.
I think everyone has to know that you are.
Like, because you're human.
100% capable.
You're human.
And so you need to keep yourself in check. As soon as you think like, oh, I would never do that, that's when
you're in a bad way.
Trouble.
Yeah. Your environment will definitely shape your actions.
And I think that the more your spouse sees you keep yourself in check, the less they worry about it.
Yeah. They're like, oh, he's dialed in.
Yeah.
So to speak.
Yeah.
Or they'll grab your phone and check your phone like you do.
I do. But
yeah,
it provides so much confidence to me that you don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, there's no.
We share our location on our phones. Yeah. So that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Don't do one-on-ones with any additional or spouse or with gender stuff,
Well, I meant to ask you about this, but just yesterday you had told me, so Riker's coach had asked you something that I needed to send him. And so you had told me, hey, 3-way text Coach Eric and send him this thing. And I sent him the thing, but I didn't add you on it. I don't know if that bothered you or not, because you made a point of saying 3.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if you did it.
No, I probably should have added you. Sorry about that.
Yeah. And then same thing too with dang, I was just gonna say something else. A boundary that we do. Shoot, okay, can't think of it. Let's skip my mind.
If you do, throw it in there.
Might have to bring it back up.
Okay, the next one is life stress and work balance.
Ooh.
Now, this is something that you are an expert in. You really are. And it's I've seen the work you've put into this. It makes me just so proud of you. But you just had, I don't know if it was a tweet or an Instagram post just this last week about this that was so good.
What was it?
Oh, gosh, I wish I could remember. I should have written it down before we got here.
If you win in business, was it not?
Yes.
Yeah.
That one.
So it was, Well, the tweet was, if you win in business but lose at home, you didn't win.
And if your children don't know you, if your wife doesn't respect you, it doesn't matter how many zeros are at the end of your bank account, you're broke.
You're broke.
Oh, it was so
good.
And I think that's so true.
Yeah. And that ties into so we're on work stress, life stress. Yeah, but again, that's a priority thing too. I think there's a lot less stress in life when you have a set of values that you follow, because now your priorities are aligned. And if both of you and your spouse have aligned priorities, I think there's a lot less stress.
Yeah. And but this is coming from someone who's built a very successful business, has a lot of zeros in his bank account. And if you can do it, literally anybody can do it.
Anybody can do it. Yeah.
Anybody can do it.
Oh, anybody. I am fully convinced of that. I got low IQ and everything else. I do. I'm just dead serious with you. I'm good at a couple things in life, but those things actually, that's what it is. That's what life's about. Going all in on what you're good at.
Can you tell me one thing in life you're not good at? Just one.
I mean, organization is just horrible. I'm super scatterbrained, super organizational.
Okay, organization.
I can't match to save my life with my clothes.
Okay, so you can't match your clothes.
There's a lot of things I'm bad at. There's a lot of things I'm bad at. Yeah. I couldn't freaking paddleboard the first time I tried. You remember that?
That's true.
I could not get up. I got way better. I got way better. I thought I was super uncoordinated. I'm like, dude, this is frustrating. My wife's just gets on the paddleboard. She's looks like a pro, like an expert. I'm like, oh, this is easy. I can do this. I couldn't get up. I literally could not get up. I was like, that was so frustrating. That one was one of the most frustrating times I've ever had.
Yeah, that was on our honeymoon.
That was bad.
It was
bad. Oh, geez. Not good. But yeah, work-life stress. And a lot of it too is just managing your stress, dude. Stress is going to come. And it's an emotion, and you're going to feel bad some days. You're not going to feel like doing what you need to do. You're not going to, like, it's not supposed to feel like sunshine and rainbows every day. Like, you're going to have a lot. This is how I look at it. If life is going to be 50% bad, 50% good, you know? And that's just it. You have the good days, you have the bad days, and you're hopeful that you're going to have some more good days than bad days, right? But it's life. Life's going to hit you no matter what. And so, but you can always have a good day if you just stay in a good, positive mental frame. Doesn't matter what happens, circumstances.
So give us one or two like tactical pieces of advice that you would give to men specifically when they feel that level of stress to manage it and still be good to their wives and their children. Give us like just two things.
This is my framework, okay? When I am the most stressed and I feel like I am going to explode, it's actually doesn't have anything to do with my external environment. It's usually when I'm not keeping the promises to myself. It's when I feel out of alignment, where I know that I'm living a life that is not congruent to what I'm portraying, right? So if I stop going to the gym, immediately I am out of alignment.
Have you ever stopped going to the
Well, there's periods in my life where I have, but I hate how I've taken time off where I'm like, I feel like I need to rest. I feel I get injured, and the injury takes me out, and or I'm not eating as well. That happens a lot to me where I fluctuate 10, 15 pounds, right? And then I kind of feel like I'm out of alignment. Like when I'm not living a life congruent to who I believe I am, that's when I get most frustrated in life.
Interesting.
And then I want to unleash that on other people. But as long as I'm doing what I need to do and I know I should be doing every day, I can take on anything because I'm doing what I need to do.
Okay, you're hitting people hard with that one.
Well, that's the truth, though.
No, it's good though. It's really good,
right? I mean, don't you feel the same? If you start
when people
living,
feel stress, they want to blame it on all the external circumstances, and you're saying no, it's probably that you're not doing what you know you should be doing. Like there's a lot more ownership there, which
oh yeah,
there's a lot more power there, but there's a lot more responsibility.
Tons of power. Because, dude, look, if you're stressed out, but you're doing all the things you know you should be doing as a man, how are you going to be like? You're not going to be on edge. You're gonna be like, dude, I'm the man. Like I'm getting it done, right? That's how you're gonna feel.
Yeah.
But if you feel like you're out of control, you can't control your circumstances, you're not even getting up, and then you're talking to your coworker at work, and your coworker's like, dude, this guy's dialed in X, Y, and you're like, dude, I'm totally not like doing that. Right. Like it's gonna wear on you, and it's gonna take your stress and elevate it to a whole nother level because you know every day you're not doing what you should be doing.
Okay.
And that's my framework. The way it works for me.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, the very last one, number 10 on the 10 things couples fight about is big picture goals and values.
Big picture goals and values, yes.
I would reference back to our dreaming and growing.
Oh yeah, well, that too. I didn't realize we had one on all of these. It's crazy. Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. But yeah, this might be a little bit controversial.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But in our family, the big picture goals and the values for our family really falls to you. And I'm looking to you for that leadership to say, okay, where's our family going? And then I'm doing what I can to help you get there.
Yeah.
But I think if you have two people that are like battling over which values and which goals were like, that is the man's role. And your job as the wife is to support that, not to be the orchestrator of that.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's a good point.
A lot of it, if you
yeah,
that appropriate.
Yeah.
Where we were appropriate. I think that would eliminate a lot of those arguments. But then as a man, I think it's a huge responsibility to be able to make a vision for your family, paint the vision for them.
Yeah.
Like, keep your leadership on point to keep them on the vision is probably, I would assume, extremely hard. You're very good at it. I'm blessed to be able to follow you.
Yeah. But I feel for the men listening to this right now because
so much
it's so stress. It's just so much pressure. That's a lot of pressure, you know? And it's like, again, how do you eat an elephant? You just take it one day at a time. But yeah, it's a lot of pressure. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no getting around it though. I mean, that's why you are a man. You know, it's like,
yeah, that's why like people want to talk about how hard women have it and the world is made for men or whatever. I'm like, I don't know. Are you sure you'd want the pressure of a man? Because I wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
Thankful that you take it on, but I couldn't do it.
It's so hard. I mean, the transition to go from boy to man is like very, very difficult, you know, and that's why I think having kids helps a lot because it forces you to do it, you know. But yeah, it's tricky. What was the question? Or what was it? Oh, is this a comment, right? Yeah, it's just, it's tough, dude. I mean,
but I do have a question.
Yeah.
So it was probably 10 years ago when you first started to paint that vision for us and like where our family was going and what we were going to do and where we were going. How do you start that? Because when you start it, you don't know where it's going to end up or where it's going to go. So is it just a matter of like starting and course correcting on your way? Because you can't necessarily predict the future, right? You can't say, we're going to do this and it's going to be super successful and then we're going to be here.
No.
There's got to be a lot of course correction along the way. And like, even so when you started 10 years ago was not starting with the company that you have now.
No, yeah.
A bunch of little things that didn't work that we had to course correct through.
Yeah.
You know, it was,
Yeah, well, there's a great book called The Compound Effect, right? And I truly believe all of life is compounding. And if you ever go to a compound interest calculator, which if you haven't done the math, I suggest everybody do that right now. Go to bankrate.com, compound interest calculator. And all you got to do is just put, $10,000 in the stock market. I'm at $300 a month, and I'm going to do that for 40 years at a 10% interest rate every year, right? And you're going to notice after 40 years, just starting with $10,000 and then contributing $200 a month for 40 years, you're going to have millions of dollars. And you're like, how is that possible? It's because you're compounding your results over time. And so every overnight success that you see was not.
Yeah.
It's just not true. What you saw is the effects of compounding interest. They started 10 years ago and they took the little steps every day. They started learning a little bit more skill sets. They started taking a little bit more risk. They started, developing a better mental positive frame. And then all of a sudden 10 years goes by and you're like, dude, that guy just overnight, how did he do what he did?
Yeah.
And so it doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. But the key is you got to start, because any compound interest calculator will tell you the biggest multiple is time. That's what you need effort and time. But the biggest thing is time. And so the later you don't start, and for us, when we started, it was just little nightly things, right? 8 p.m., start learning more skills, watching more videos, trying little online businesses, just over days and weeks and years of just continuing to do that. All of a sudden, now it's like, oh, well, Rich had some success.
Yeah.
But
So
it doesn't happen like that.
So than the dreaming and growing together, which is probably a really good episode to start with. But the personal growth one is probably even more appropriate to this.
Yeah.
This conversation.
Yeah. I mean, even in our marriage is a compounding effect. It's like, you see a great marriage, it didn't happen overnight. It's just these little things that just start compounding over time. And you're like, wow, they have a great marriage. It's like, yeah, but it took a lot of time and a lot of effort.
And a lot of discipline.
Just like everything in life.
Yeah.
And that's why there's no shortcuts. But everybody's looking for the shortcut.
There just isn't one. So that was the top 10. What do you think was the most... what one was the most relatable to you, and which one's the most surprising to you, would you say?
Most surprising to me in terms of the top 10? Well, I'm actually surprised. So chores, parenting styles, in-laws. I mean, I don't know if I am surprised. I knew money was up there, and I've always heard money's number one. So, I mean, that makes sense to me. Sex and intimacy. I mean, you start looking at the list, it makes a lot of sense to you. I mean, maybe you can say that communication and conflict I could see a world where that becomes number 3. So on this list, it's number 6, but I can see that there's a lot of conflict in marriages and communication bouts. I mean, I could see that up in the 1, 2, or 3 spot.
Right. Because I think a lot of those things really do come down to communication more than the actual thing.
100%. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe that's the biggest one, that communication and conflict is number 6. I think that's a little low, but, take it for what it's worth.
That you relate to?
Oh, I mean, I relate to all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, all of them I relate to. The one that kind of stands out the most to me, I don't know, dude. It's tricky. The one that really, I don't know. What would you say?
I would honest to goodness say that we can relate on every single one of these things, which
Yeah.
is why we've done episodes on every single one of them.
Yeah, we have. It's crazy. And we don't have that many episodes.
I can relate to every single one of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, would you want to leave the marriages, the listeners, with a little bit of Haley wisdom?
Oh gosh.
Drop some bombs on them.
I don't know if I have any bombs. That's a lot of pressure.
Yep.
But I would say at the end of the day with most of these things, a phrase that I use all the time is to just approach your spouse with curiosity. And I think that could solve a lot of these things. If you approach with curiosity instead of judgment, approach with curiosity instead of trying to prove that your way is the right way, I think that can go a really long way.
Yeah, I would, it'd be interesting. I wish we could do a poll. Maybe we could do a poll on like Instagram. If we put these 10, I don't know if you can do that on Instagram, but if we took a poll, I'd be curious what the marriages say is like the one that stands out the most. Like maybe they struggle with the most.
Yeah.
And would it rank in this type of order? I wonder. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
I'm gonna figure that out. Okay.
But words of encouragement. I mean, look, marriage is a marathon. I mean, we've only been in the game for 12 years, so it's not like we're just a little blip. Hopefully, we got a long ways to go. But it's a marathon, and things might be going bad right now, but it's crazy how fast things can turn around. And things might be going good, but it's crazy how fast things can turn around in both directions. So maybe just a word of encouragement that just keep on, trying to do better. Yeah. Love your spouse and keep it going.
Very good. Well, as always, like, subscribe, comment, leave a review.
Yeah.
Find us on Instagram at Married with the Muchkas.
Married with
Or
Muchkas.
on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, same name, Married with Muchkas. And we'd love to see you, talk to you, get to know you, hang out, all those fun things.
Da-doom.
And I am going to figure out how to post this poll so you guys can answer over there.
Do the poll, girl.
All right. Thanks.
Let's do it. All right. Love you.
Love you.
Mike.